Okay, so a year ago we had news that a semi-popular TF2 YouTuber by the name Mechawreck has been called out to be a paedophile, where there was witnesses, chat logs, and loads of information over the months. And it's now enough been a year since I published my video about Mechawreck as well. Well, why am I talking about this? After a year later, it turns out that someone by the username Starcasm has actually been in contact with Mechawreck through a different platform, and some of the chat logs follow. So the first message says to verify if he's actually Mechawreck, and he puts down below, if it is, I won't tell anyone. But you literally just posted it on Twitter, you posted the chat log on Twitter and everything, so I don't get what's the point saying that if you're just going to go tell the whole community that you've just been in contact with Mechawreck, and you just basically said you're not going to tell anyone, but you've literally posted this on Twitter. Before I continue with everything around this area, I just want to say please do not send any hate or witch hunt any of the people involved with this video. It isn't right and you shouldn't be doing it. And then basically he confirms that he is Mechawreck, and then he basically says that he feels sorry for Mechawreck, but I don't get why he's even messaging him in the first place, or even how he managed to get in contact with Mechawreck. It then continues saying that Mechawreck appreciates what he's saying, but he's lost hope and trust in the TF2 community after a bunch of people lied to him. I'm really curious what he means by that, and I'm really curious what that actually means by people lying to him and all that. Next, he says, I mean, to be honest, I do miss TF2, I miss everyone, and I especially miss a few of my best friends. But YouTube, that ship was sinking for me even before everything that happened. He mentions here that he's become an entirely different person. And for the YouTube side, he even mentions that his Wrangler video was meant to be his 10th and last video ever. Mechawreck goes on here and says that he's gone to therapy and found one that he has been seeing since, but I can't really confirm if this is actually true or not due to how he said he went to therapy in the past. He mentions how he's made an effort to not fall into that repetitive pattern again, and he says that people don't really know or care about it. I mean, it's kind of hard to understand and listen to what he means by that because of the things he's done. Mechawreck mentions that Star is able to pick up whereas Mecha fell down. Star replies and says how he's been using his original loadout. I'm just completely lost here, like why use his loadout? Like I completely understand if you like it, but using it in honor of Mechawreck may not be quite a good idea for the TF2 community's perspective. Mechawreck mentions that he doesn't mind him using his loadout and says that anyone can carry the torch of what he has done. Like, it makes it sound like he's Rick May, like he's holding a torch for the Team Fortress 2 community, which I don't get why he said that. He says he's created a Steam account, but he says that he might not be playing TF2 at the current situation he is currently in. He says that if he returns, he'll buy the essentials which he needs, which is basically Team Fortress 2 items, but then mentions that it's very unlikely that he will return. If he decides to play TF2 again, the same thing could happen where he becomes that figure he was in the past. Majority of the other ones are just talking about the game and just how he talks about the engineers, Jag, and weapons. But here, Mecha says that he will be given it a second chance, with Star responding excitedly. The last few say that he's got nothing better to do. What about your therapy sessions, Mechawreck? What about them? So, from the looks of it, Mechawreck potentially could have a return to the TF2 community, which I'm very curious on what he will do. I'm not too sure if he will be making content or just being a player who enjoys the game. It's weird how Starcasm is going to use the same loadout as what Mechawreck used, and he even got a question saying what his dream unusual is, which he replies the Sunbeam's Mindlight, which is the exact same hat that Mechawreck has. Starcasm does post later on saying that he just wants to say that he was stupid to post it on the tweet longer, and he says that his thoughts have changed since January because some screenshots were from January, and he says that he doesn't want Mechawreck back in the TF2 community. With Sid replying on screenshots where he says how he wants him back in the TF2 community. Starcasm says that he's just going to delete the whole tweet and let it be done with. Sid mentions how his inspiration was a paedophile and how he used his position in TF2 community to groom and traumatize a bunch of minors. And basically even mentions here how he's completely forgotten that he repeatedly lied about seeking for help, like therapy for example, and he's still being acknowledged. Starcasm says he didn't really think it through and realizes it wasn't a great idea from his perspective. So once again, please do not send any negative messages to Starcasm or anyone involved with this video. I'm only here to talk about the situation of possibly Mecha coming back. I never mean any harm to anybody. So that's going to be the end of the video, so leave your thoughts down below what you think about Mechawreck if he was planning on to return, because we're not even sure if he is yet, it's just a possible thing that we've heard. So once again, that's going to be the end of the video, so thank you so much for watching, and peace.